Hey, Grace family. I'm excited to be able to share a new part of this Wednesday devotional series with you, where some of the other ministry leaders here at Grace and I get to share some of the resources that we found really helpful as we connect with God, either earlier in our life or even during this time of COVID in particular. So I agreed to go first because I have a resource I really value that has been really helpful for me for the last 20 years or so of my life. I don't use it all the time in prayer, but I've come back to it a number of times. It's a resource called Face to Face. We give this to a number of people who are either joining our church or getting baptized. We find it as a really helpful resource to give out. And I just want to show you a little bit of what it's like and why it helps shape the way that I pray. Um, Often, if I don't have structure, and I'm embarrassed to say this, I'm not proud of this. If I don't have structure in my times of prayer with God, my mind wanders pretty easily. I start to either think about what I have to do or what's going on in the world, or I check my phone. So I really benefit from some structure in my times of prayer. That can take the form of handwriting prayers, which helps me to keep my mind focused, or in the case of this face by face resource, or a similar one called the Divine Hours that I use sometimes. Here's another one, or another one called For the Love of God, which I also find really helpful. What I found useful about these devotional resources is that they guide me through a specific way to pray. Um, and since I'm mentioning face to face today, I'll just show you a little bit about what it looks like. So you'll see on each section there's a structure, a time of adoration, then a time of confession, a time of renewal, time of petition, intercession, affirmation, and thanksgiving. And I know I ran through this quickly, but the structure is not so much important as what I think is really cool in these is that each of them has a couple of verses to go with it. So, for example, in adoration, it's a passage from John 1 and then a passage from 1 Corinthians 8. So you read a couple of verses and then you add your own experiences of adoration. Like, what do you appreciate about God? And then for confession, here it's a passage from Jonah 4. And then you ask God to sort of search, how am I like that? Passage from Jonah 4. So I found this really helpful. It's easy to find on Amazon. Face to Face, it's edited by Kenneth Boa. I would encourage you to pick it up, and hopefully it helps your time of prayer with God during this COVID quarantine. If you have any questions about that, or you want to talk about some of the resources you found helpful as you pray, I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to email me, bob@gracesealbeach.org. God bless.